Hey guys, it's Staci Hutch, and apparently our bosses thought that we didn't talk enough.
So we're going to do a podcast.
We're going to say too much. Hopefully we don't get fired, but it's a podcast, so they can't fire us for having our own thoughts.
And we don't get paid for this, so how can you fire from something you don't actually do for a job?
You're not getting paid?
No, are you?
Let's start the podcast. Yay, here we go. Staci Hutch, say too much. Super excited. We just found out the other day that Charlotte was coming in.
Yes.
Charlotte Lawrence is with us. Hey, welcome.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you being here. You just awesome that we're your first stop and you can come hang out, have all this energy with us. And by the end of tours and stuff, do you get tired? Do you get exhausted?
I think so. I haven't been on tour in so long, so I don't have much memory of like the post and pre feeling. But I would assume that the answer is yes.
Yes.
I'm just gonna be open to everything, but probably.
And a tour like Madison's, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Madison Beer, yeah.
How did you get that call? How does that work when an artist says, I want this as my opener? Or, how does that, we don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes it'll go through management or agencies and have it kind of be like suggested in some regard. But a lot of times it goes artist to artist.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I feel so grateful. She's been one of my closest friends forever. And we've always talked about this. We were always like, we have to do something together. We have to tour together. And it just kind of, I don't know, is the perfect storm.
It
And she
worked out.
asked me, a few months ago. And I was like, obviously, I'm there in 5 seconds. It's such a cool tour. And I'd be lucky to do it if I never knew her. But also the fact that she's one of my closest friends is like just a month-long sleepover. It's the best thing. Couldn't be more happy.
Also trouble too.
Of course it's trouble, but it's the best.
Yeah.
You have a show tonight, the Fillmore. Doors open at 6, shows at 7. What is your favorite song that you have written?
Ooh, that's the most loaded question I've
Is
ever heard in my
it?
life. Yeah, because I think it changes every day, honestly. It's like, I'm so proud of so many of my songs, and if I wrote a song right now, I would probably be like, this is my favorite song I've ever written in my entire life.
What about
And then
one
it would
that's the
change.
most, I guess, like exposed, like you feel so exposed that so much of your own emotions are in it, or something like that. But maybe you don't, I would want to say, I didn't write that. I just sing it.
I'd say one of my favorites is probably Body Bag is one of my I'm so proud of it. I'm so vulnerable in it. I'm so connected to it. And I know that I'll love it forever. It's like I've played it so many times live now and I'm not sick of it yet. And I feel so proud of it. And it's a song that if nobody knew who I was, I would want them to listen to that to kind of
Right.
understand me as an artist. But I also have a song called Somewhere that I'm obsessed with. It's not out yet, but I'm going to be playing it live and I love it so much. And I'm really excited for.
Is there a song where you're just like, oh, I got to do this one again? I
Yes,
mean,
of course. Every
there
artist
is.
has that. Of course.
And is it usually the most popular one?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
yeah. Everybody hates their hits, and I'm not saying that it's a hit, but it's like everybody hates their most popular songs. I mean, I also don't want to speak for everybody, but me personally, I have an aversion to the most popular ones. But I think that's just because I was so young, and I don't want to hate on them because they're why I can make music, and obviously there's so much beauty to them, and
Mhm.
I'm so proud of who I was back then. And back then, that was exactly what I wanted to make, that type of music. But just nowadays, I'm like, I've grown so much, I've learned, I've evolved, I've experienced. So like, I wouldn't write that type of song today.
Mm.
But yeah, I have a song called "Stole Your Car" that I listen to. That I'm just like, what the hell? I just stole your car. No, first of all, I didn't even have my license. Secondly, no, I didn't, and I'm not going to steal your car.
But here's the thing, I guess, is that why we see artists kind of revamp some of those songs live? They'll do a different take on the song. They'll do, they'll add a different chorus kind of here, or make the song sound just a little, they'll add a ukulele, or, they'll add kind of a little different version to the live performance to kind of just spruce it up for themselves and the band.
Yes, I think that's definitely the reason is if you see an artist you love live and they play a song that you're like, I think I know this one, and it turns out to be their hit, just sounding like a completely different manner. It's definitely because they're so sick of playing it. But I personally think as a music lover, as a music listener, when I go to my favorite band's concerts, I want to hear all their hits. I want to hear their favorite songs, and I want to hear them how they're supposed to be heard.
You do.
So I think you got to bite your lip a little bit and just do it, and maybe spruce it up, make it a little more modern or fit in with the sound production wise. But I think you got to kind of do it how
Give
it's
the people
meant.
what they want.
Yeah, you gotta please a little bit.
Well, Staci and I, we listen to music all the time, and it's over and over again. And if we hear Luke Combs' "Fast Car" one more time in its original version, but the way he did it from Tracy Chapman was so cool and unique.
Yeah.
Of course.
And if I go to a Luke Combs concert, I want to hear it a different way that he's done it. But we listen to music all the time, and so as a fan of the band, I would love to hear something a little bit different that no one's going to get in a different city.
Yeah, I get that.
I
love that, and there is beauty to that, and maybe it's just like different strokes, different folks. But I also think with covers, I think the best covers are either if you do it like complete justice and lean into like how Beyonce did Blackbird, how she had like the original guitar, like it's that she leaned into that, did it complete justice, but also completely like made it her own. And I love that also it, like females covering male songs and vice versa, whatever, and like switching up, the meaning behind it per se, or just like the tone of your voice. But with Fast Car, for example, like you still are getting the Tracy Chapman Fast Car, but it's like sung completely differently. It feels like a country song, and it's like it's has its own new life, which I love. But I think like if I went on stage and like I have this song called Sleep Talking that was like probably my most popular when I was younger, and if I just sang like completely different melodies, people would be like, "What the hell?"
Like that's not
this
the
is
song
only the reason why I'm here.
Yeah,
right, exactly. Now you are actually not just a singer-songwriter; you're also someone who is acting too, and you've got something coming up on Apple TV. You want to talk about that?
Sure. Oh my gosh.
With a fellow Minnesotan, Vince Vaughn.
Vince is from Minnesota.
I think so. I think
he
he was born here, but then he moved to Chicago, so he probably doesn't claim us.
Yeah.
No, I believe it. I also just have a horrible memory. Like, sorry if he probably told me that once, and I just
I won't let him know. I won't spill the beans.
But yeah, I have a. It's so funny because we filmed this show in like 2021, and it was so much fun. We filmed it in Florida for a long time in Miami. And it was just such like a crazy, because we were all living in Miami, and it was just such a crazy experience. It felt like not real. And then, they started editing it, making the show, and then the actors' strike happened, and the writers' strike, and
nothing happened.
Nothing happened. So it's been so long since we actually filmed it that I genuinely don't know what
you're going to be
like. I don't remember.
You're going to have to watch it for yourself to remember it. Okay,
I'm going to watch it along with the rest of you.
It's called Bad Monkey. And what's the show about, and who do you play?
So it's based off of a Carl Hiaasen book, who's an incredible writer. He's very funny, and it's very comedic, but it's also very dark and dramatic and actiony and fun and incredible. He's just such a good writer. And they made it into a TV show. It follows Vince, who plays a detective. And I'm like, I don't know how much I can say about it, but I mean, I guess because it's a book, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
but I play the daughter of people that he's investigating.
Okay. Got it.
So you're making a secret appearance.
Well, so here's the thing about your acting and Apple TV. First off, is that Apple TV does quality stuff. A lot of other streaming platforms, they put a lot out, and it's quantity. It's not necessarily quality. And when Apple TV Plus or Apple TV does something, it's crazy good, And so for you to be a part of that, obviously, is kind of cool. Be like, I'm part of an original that is crazy.
It's so cool. It's also, I'm just so grateful to be included. I love acting so much, and it's a newfound love of mine. And I need to get in my 10,000 hours, obviously. But I've just been having so much fun in classes and working with other people, and being on set was a dream come true. So I couldn't be more grateful to be included. But it's just such a cool show, and I'm excited to watch it just as like a viewer besides anything. But
were you on set as a kid with your parents a lot?
Yes. Yeah.
So they brought you to work.
Visit. Yeah. And it was so funny because I always had an aversion to acting growing up. Like when I was in my rebellious teen years, I was like, I never want to do what you guys did. I'm going to do something totally different so that I'm not connected to you at all. And they're like, all right, bro, like we don't care. Like do you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that there's something to say about, genetics or like what's in your blood. And the second I tried it or tried to learn it, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this so much.
This is fun.
I want to
Let's
try
do
this.
it.
Yeah, it's so much fun. So, yeah, I'm grateful for growing up with the parents that I did and getting to experience all the creative, bonuses and opportunities that I got. And it's just so fun.
People know your
so
parents from Scrubs, right?
Yeah.
So your dad is Perry.
My dad created Scrubs.
Oh, he created it. Okay.
Yes, and then my mom starred in it, or not?
Was
Yeah,
part of it.
starred,
Yeah,
Jordan.
yeah.
What is it like when you have obviously parents and siblings that are all connected? Are your siblings doing anything in the entertainment world, or are they
It's so fun. They both are
pickleball
in
pros?
school.
What
They're
are they?
pickleball pros. I have 2 younger brothers. One of them is 21 and he's in NYU, and he's so smart and so great, and he's obsessed with basketball, but he's not tall enough to be a basketball player. So I think he'll go into something sports related. Who knows? And then the youngest one, Henry, is 17, and he's a little psychopath, but he's so smart and he's so good at water polo and like such a catch, and has a girlfriend, and it's like growing up in front of my eyes, and I don't know what to do about it. But he, for the first time ever, is like, "Hey, Dad, want to put me in a show?" And Dad's like, "No, that's not how it works. First of all, I'm not gonna put you in a show. Secondly, calm down. Like, go to college. This is not happening again. Like,
Yeah.
we're not doing this."
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
he's
gosh.
sparking interest in what he's such a performer. He's so funny. He's such a little wild child. So he's sparking interest in
Are you
acting.
protective of him? And now
It
that he
sounds
has a
like it.
girlfriend, and
I
you're
mean, I
just kind of
guess,
like,
but,
did you
like-
pull her aside and be like, if you break his heart?
Both the boys are so I mean, when they were younger, like if anybody messed with them, I would have killed them.
Mhm.
Genuinely, sorry. Like
I think we all
die
feel
for
that
them.
way,
We all
yeah.
feel that
Sure,
way.
yeah.
You gotta. But now that they're older, they're both like 6'4", so I think they're fine. You know what I mean? That I'm like, I hope that I've taught them how to be respectful and kind to women. I believe that I have, and I think that, you know, if the girlfriend ever did something wrong or whatever, like I think he's fine. I
Okay,
think he
he's
would know
good.
how to-
He's
yeah.
good. She's not going to
He
go
doesn't hate you.
missing, and he's going to be like, "Where'd she go?" You know.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
What is one thing you love about touring, especially with your best friend and going? I mean, obviously performing in front of the fans, getting out in front of the fans, which is something that is weird. It's still fairly newer to because of COVID and
Mhm.
not touring and all that stuff. It's still kind of in the newish stage, but it's not for you.
Yeah, it's so funny because I went on I would say like I would call it one big tour in like 2019 where I opened up for somebody and then did a solo tour. And I did things around it. I did another little solo one. And then we had one booked, for 2020 and had to cancel it, and it's just been so long. But the thing I missed most in COVID was the connection that you make. And I think nowadays, especially with TikTok and social media, and that music has such a life on social media, and it's kind of part of the reason why anything is a hit nowadays, or whatever you want to call it, is
Mhm.
because of social media. I really miss that like in-person connection.
Yeah.
And I, again, as a music lover, love to go to shows and feel like I'm hanging out with the artist, and I'm getting to like hear my favorite songs and see my favorite person, and that we're connecting and we're bonding and we're experiencing something together. And as a musician, writing songs and releasing them and then seeing numbers on a screen is so much different from writing songs, releasing them, and then getting to perform for real people, singing real songs back to you. It feels so much more real of like, oh my God, people actually like listen to my music. That is so cool and insane.
And they're singing it back
And they're
to you.
singing it
Right.
back. Like that is mind blowing. It shouldn't be allowed. And it's just so cool. So my biggest thing with touring is just getting to connect with people that listen to my music. And I look at it always as like we're hanging out together because I'm a music fan first and foremost.
It's so fun. Staci and I, we love the venues around this area are so good and so
Mhm.
cool. The Fillmore that you're going to be at have you been there yet?
No, I'm
It's
so
so cool.
It's very cool.
I'm
But
excited.
the small venues, I think, are so. We just went to see Knox
Mhm.
and Mary Jo.
Yep.
They were at like a 500-person venue.
It was in
So cool.
Amsterdam. in case-
Amsterdam, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bar.
Small. And
It's
it
pretty
was
small.
just cool because
Yeah.
everyone was so involved. And when I think sometimes when you get to the big arena shows, now obviously a lot of artists will have to do the big arena shows, but these small venues, they're so intimate and so
Yeah.
just,
So much connection.
yeah, there's a ton of connection with it. It's insane how crazy it is. Do you like the bigger venues, the smaller venues?
I mean, I like all of them. I definitely did a few smaller venues in LA for the past like year and a little bit of last year. I would just like spontaneously want to do a acoustic show somewhere, and it was so cool to get to really like actually feel like we're just hanging out. It's like if I had a guitar in this room, that it's like that's what we're doing. I didn't feel any sort of like disconnect from stage to audience.
Mhm.
And it's so special, and that connection is always special, and I feel like no matter where my career goes, I'll always want to do that. But there is something to be said about like stepping onto a stage and seeing a lot of
100,000.
people.
lot of
Yeah, you're like,
people.
oh my God. Like it's really cool. So that's obviously a goal. But I think that both are have such beautiful lives and reasons for existing separately.
How it ends, by the time this runs and airs, will have already been out.
Oh
Is
my
the
God.
excitement of a new song? What's that like days before it comes out? Are you one that when it comes out, you look at numbers and you're like, how many people are listening? What's happening? And
I mean, you can't help it, but I don't put everything on numbers. I think that if you do, then that's how you will get disappointed, no matter what. Even if it does so well, it's just like there's always something to be said about being proud of the song and looking at the success of the song as the song itself and making the song versus like the actual numbers behind it. But I love this song so much. I definitely, of course, I'm going to check the numbers and of course I'm going to like hope it does well, obviously. But I like to tell myself and truly believe that it's like, okay, I made a great song that I'm really proud of, that I love, that my friends love. And if just one person gets affected by it, like I'll feel great.
It's worth it.
And
Yeah.
But it's so fun to release a song on tour because then it's like, oh, I get to perform it every night and I get to promote it and I get to, I don't know, like really show it off. It's a fun way to, especially because we were just talking about how you can get sick of your old song so quick.
Mhm.
It's a fun way to be like, I've literally never performed it before. So wish me luck. But yeah, I'm so excited to put it out.
do you
I can't
test?
believe it's out already.
Do you test? Do you test a lot of music that you're writing currently on stage for audiences, or do you?
Definitely for like my acoustic shows I did, my little ones, when it was just like 100, 200 people, like I would just kind of sing whatever and be and see if people liked it. But when it's an opening gig, I feel like there's a certain balance between, okay, you guys don't know me. I really want to win you over. And also, if you do know me, I want to give you something that you like. And also, okay, because it's not my headlining show, I have the opportunity to
Mhm.
play some shit that you've never heard before and that you don't know. And so kind of yes, but I think it's also like, say the song that I was talking about earlier that I love, Somewhere, like it's unreleased. If people started to love it randomly when I was performing on tour, like I would probably put it out as fast as I could. You know what I mean? So I
Mm.
guess there is a certain gauge of like, okay, you guys can be the deciders, but there's a balance between everything.
Do you ever hear from someone that you've written a song about?
Um, I mean, yeah, my boyfriend, whom I love so much, we've been together for a long time. I think you have to, songwriters, you have to write about what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And all the time, I'll like play him a song. He's like, okay, this is about me. And I'm like, I don't know, like maybe. But I've never heard from like an ex. I think that it's just kind of like a head nod of, you probably know, but don't say anything about it.
Right.
But my boyfriend, of course, I'll write him really sweet songs too, so it balances it out. But if we ever get into a fight and I'm like, I wrote a song, he's like,
Are you ever around like your place and just singing a song randomly about him, like wash the dishes, please? I don't know why there's a bowl in the sink. Like are you just like goofing around a lot of the times, just creating melodies in your head?
I mean, yeah, ours are much more explicit than that. We create like the jokiest, like most insane songs you've ever heard that can never leave our house ever. But he's also a musician. He's a producer and an incredible musician. Writes and plays guitar and instruments, whatever, and produces for such incredible people. So we have a sort of like intense music bond. So when we are messing around, it's just all jokes and games.
It's fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That's awesome. Well, again, congrats on the success so far and the acting and I can't wait to see the Apple TV. What did it?
you.
Do we
Me
know when it's
too.
coming
It's,
out? or-
August. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it.
Okay, August.
Oh,
In
well, I don't
August.
think that's a problem. Like it's coming out later
Well,
this
like,
year.
They've changed the date in August a few times now,
Okay.
so let's just say August.
Around August.
It's called
Around
Bad
August.
Monkey.
Bad Monkey.
Bad Monkey.
All right. So thank you for coming in. Have fun tonight. Fillmore's absolutely amazing. And of
Mhm.
course, people can find you on Instagram. You've got your website. You're all over
Yeah.
social. So
All over socials.
you were there.
Come find me anywhere.
So thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. There you go. That's
Thank
Staci
you for
Hutch.
having me.
Say too much. We'll see you guys next week as we do this thing again for you.